I want to be heard. Those are the words from Kate's late husband, Derek Draper. A dying wish honoured in tonight's extraordinary documentary, which marks his final year battling with COVID complications.
And we have part of that documentary showing Kate, Derek and their son, Billy, as they opened Kate's birthday cards in May of last year.
Kate, happy birthday. Hope you have a lovely day. Lots of love, Diane and Sue. And Tizer.
Tizer the cat gets a mention.
Can I see the font?
So Maggie, the neighbour.
Look, read it out. You can't just say who it's from.
How do you feel about having a 56-year-old wife?
Good.
Do you? You off, sir? Love you. That's the moment to say it back, by the way.
Love you too.
As we can see from that, Kate, it is a hauntingly honest piece of television. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it, to be honest. And one of the things that you do, most movingly, is reflect on camera about the change in the dynamic between the relationship between you and Derek, you and your beloved, formerly demonstrative husband. And you talk about the little things in a marriage that show that you love each other, like making someone a cup of tea or kissing them on the cheek in the morning or something. And all that went. And you had to somehow process that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, isn't it? It's a real honour, actually, and I'm so glad ITV have allowed us and supported us to do this, because it was started filming from Derek's wanting to make it, wanting his voice to be heard, obviously having seen the previous ones and getting stronger and a bit more communication. And what we were going through as a couple there was against the backdrop of the endless and exhausting fights to try and get support. But as a couple and a family, we were going through adjusting to a new way of living. And I was very aware, obviously Derek adored me, and we loved each other incredibly. But the way you show love, he couldn't do. So it was thinking, well, he felt very disempowered on so many levels, physically, in terms of communication. He was definitely a man of words, and able to do the things he would do. You know, he would be able to suddenly fix something or do something, and we were having to relearn this dynamic, which you do when somebody that you're caring for, whether it's a parent, a brother, a partner, a child, the dynamic changes and the love is still there, but you have to grow together. And that, of course, is why you need the support, because you have a huge mental journey as well as a physical one.
You don't shrink in this programme tonight from showing us Derek's agony, his mental suffering. There are a number of sequences where either on camera or the camera's just in the next room, we hear him shrieking with frustration and rage at his predicament. That must have been agonising for you.
It's horrific, actually, and obviously it's very hard to watch now because you just want to climb into the screen and say, just stop. Because in a matter of months, your life is going to be taken from you because of the damage of COVID. But, of course, he wanted to continue, and you have to fight on, don't you? You have to fight on and progress, because that was the purpose. One of the biggest frustrations is he felt a complete loss of purpose. He felt like a total failure. He felt like an incredible burden on the carers, on the system, on us, and it didn't matter what we said. He felt that burden and he wanted to be a contributor, and I guess making this documentary was his way of saying, I'm going to speak up for the people that have supported me, the family, but also those around me and people within the care system, administrators who've tried to make things work, because the system is broken, there's no doubt about that. And he wanted to do that, and so it's wonderful to have the chance to honour him and also honour the millions. I'm sad because I don't have the chance to care anymore, but I felt it would be wrong for me to sort of walk away from the caring campaign that I feel I have a responsibility for, because honestly I've had nearly 8,000 letters now. From people saying, please don't give up, people donating money for carers' charities, because we need this to change. And if something can be done, and it's a wonderful legacy for Derek, isn't it?
I think...
Sorry,
I know.
to get emotional. It's difficult because I'm trying to remove my personal grief because I think this is a really important thing that we have to tackle. And, gosh, politicians need to get their head around it of all parties. But actually, we all do as a society. We have to decide what's important to us. And until you fall and you could be hit by a bus, you could receive a horrific diagnosis. My goodness, we're all still reeling from the Princess of Wales, what they're dealing with, got Catherine and that family's dealing with, but there are millions like that. It will hit us at some point, and we have to decide as a society we don't want that support to be a luxury, because at the moment it's barely affordable for well-paid television presenters like myself, let alone normal human beings, you know what I mean? And it can't be that. We have to all decide that and make it a priority.
It came as a massive shock to me,
Right.
even knowing you,
Yeah.
how much it was costing. £16,000 a month.
Yeah, and that's basic, by the way. That's not therapy, that's not other support that goes along with it, that's not incontinence pads, that's not the basics of sheets and all those things. That is basic care. By the way, the carers don't get that. But just to be clear...
Yes, that's not the salary. That's not the monthly salary of a carer.
No, it's not. And Derek, you know, Derek had very severe needs. And, of course, there's a sliding scale. There is support for people who perhaps have lesser needs, some visits a day. You know, that can happen. But for a lot of people, millions of people, that isn't enough. So you're relying on it. I mean, I think I did about 10 days on my own, 24 hours a day. I mean, I sent an email at the end of it saying, please help, and I didn't get a response. And then Derek went into hospital. But people are doing this all the time.
Oh, we've had countless messages this morning from people who, turning to the financial side of things completely now, are broken by it, are ruined by it. And you're very frank again in the documentary about, I mean, you're broke, you're bust, you're beyond bust.
Yeah, I am.
What are you going to do?
I'm ashamed of the fact I'm in debt, but I'm also proud.
Why would you be ashamed?
Well, because I have an incredible job that I love, that's very well paid. I'm not a carer travelling miles, you know, paying their own transport to go and help somebody for minimum wage. I'm somebody that's very well paid. And so I just feel ashamed that I couldn't make it work. But when I look, I mean, there's a piece in the documentary where you rightly say he's very distressed. People might look at it and think, why is she not in the room with him? Because we're flipping back, and Jake, the amazing carer that has been, not all the time because he's been in hospital, but on and off throughout the journey, he comes in and says, I think he needs you, and of course I go. But the reason why I'm not in there is I'm piling through papers to lodge yet another appeal. And I look back at that and I think, oh my God, people are going through that without the experience of processing information that we get as training on this job.
Kate, look,
sorry,
there is an
I'm talking too much as usual.
No,
I'm talking too much.
Lorraine's standing by, and I know she supports you absolutely, but we're getting so many messages of support. It is a remarkable documentary, Kate Garraway, Derek's story. It airs tonight on ITV1, ITVX at 9 o'clock. Thank you.
Well,
we love you.
Thank you.
Lots and lots of love to the children.
Let me know. They'll let us know.
There's a lot of love for you on here.
So much love.
OK.